Hey everybody, Shay here. Welcome back to another blind run of Genshin Impact. I am recording post-play. I'm experimenting with a way to produce these. This was about 2 hours worth of gameplay. I was just doing a little bit of a warm-up, getting the characters just revised, looking at their levels, tweaking those based on some comments about leveling and how really like organic leveling is not in my best interest because it does take extremely long to pull it off. So I might as well just crank these characters up, the ones that I play in any case. So just going through some of this. This is hypercut like crazy. Like I said, the original is about 2 hours of gameplay, but I'm just roaming around Mondstadt. I didn't push leeway right now because I didn't want to unlock anything by accident while I was casually romping through this. I wasn't going to make any content out of it, but I figured, you know, I can make a little bit of an update video as well as get you to see the pieces that I did along the way so that you're all up to speed, so that when I return over the weekend I can do a couple hours session and we'll be back in leeway and pushing that along. Hopefully we'll actually get to the harbor. We'll actually get things moving along. In any case, you can see here just leveling up some of the items as well, especially this book. I felt like it was pretty good for her, and Barbara feels like a main for me right now. She's a healer. She's very versatile in what group I put her on, because I mean healing is always good. Versatile in the sense that I can put her on any team and she's useful. And the hydro, I like fire, so I get to have vaporize ready to go. So yeah, it works out. That book for healing seems to also just any kind of speeding up the healing is of course like her focus at this point. And then looking at some of the this stuff, for some reason I hadn't realized that I could level the weapons with all the crap that I was picking up, all the level 1 stars and level 2 stars, or 1 star and 2 star weapons. I'm not sure if I should just those are all throwawayable, so I kept one of each just in case. But it looked like to me that they are pretty much expendable. You just wait for your level 3 items and then scale those at the bare minimum, and the rest of them are expendable. So I moved over onto artifacts just to check out the sets again. I wanted to just tweak them based on the gameplay that I was pushing forward with. I just want to make sure that I was leveling everyone up to 39 out of 40, just to give them some room to get organic growth. And you know, if I ever ascend them again, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon, I can always bump them, and then we'll move on from there. But at least it gives me something to work with while I'm roaming the lands with these the beta and the alpha teams. At least I do end up playing the pyro team for a bit, just to test them out for a bit, for about half the session. Near the end you're going to see that it was actually pretty good. But in any case, I'm deviating ahead of schedule here. I'm still again going through the roster here. Now the characters that are stuck at 20, because I gotta go into other zones, I mean that's pretty clear, right? Like I can't get them past 20, so I feel like they're going to be limited, so they're going to be pulled off the teams until I can get into those areas, and then they become viable. So I think I might have talked over the parts. You've seen them, the artifacts, switching things around. I tried to stop on the scenes a little bit for you to see like the set and the loadout, but I believe I put berserkers onto Gami because that's kind of how I play him, and I just feel like it made sense. And I guess some energy recharge, I think, if I remember correctly, for Bennett. Anyways, if you can see that, we'll talk about it again when I return back and I'm doing this more casually while I'm doing gameplay. Okay, now at this point, for the next good portion of this, I'm basically going sweeping the map and doing some fights. I kept some highlight moments in, not that they're amazing. I didn't like I didn't cut to the benefit of my skill set. It's still growing. I'm still learning the characters. I read up on some of the the way the abilities work and stuff like that, so that I could try to use them. Like I'm the kind of player that I need to use things, not just read about them, because otherwise I don't know how to apply them inside the synergy of the group that I'm playing with. This example, for example, a lot of examples there. Like Tignari, like I think he's cool. I like archers and fire. That's pretty much my 2 favorite ways to go in any game. But Tignari, I haven't figured out how it all works together. I believe it's like that. His abilities combo with others and the Dendro stuff. But I do still need to kind of dig into that a little bit further. The reason why I didn't is because he is capped at 20 right now, so I was really just taking him on a little bit of a trip just to see how he played from an archer perspective, and then I'll I don't know, when I can get him past 20, I'll think about it a little bit further and see how that synergizes. But right now, I'm really trying to get the hang of Gaming because I do want to make him a bit of a primary. I really do enjoy he's just fun. He's fun to play. Whether he's amazing or not, I don't know. I don't really care. As long as it's fun, I like to push the characters that I'm having fun with. Visually, some of these moves are just stunning. His in particular are exceptional. The feedback in the comments about Bennett's power and staying in that aura, and that there's the buff is the benefit is inside that aura. Now I feel like when I see fire, I panic and I move, but I'm like, there's no point of running. If you got a Barbara on the team, you can just like bring her out once in a while and heal up. Then you can stay inside a fire zone and it's fine. it's not gonna do that much damage. As you can see, like no wipes this time around. Now maybe the levels also has something to do with it, bumping the characters up from 20 to 39 or 30 to 39. Probably made a difference. Their weapons also, I mean, this sword right here got scaled up. Maybe that's making a difference because the enemies are taking less hits to take down. But I felt like in general, I was getting the hang of the hold press right here. That was a good timing right there because I was going to talk about it. Now you got a visual. So yeah, the hold. I mean, it's for some reason, it's like I know it's there, like for most of the characters I played with, but for some reason I just tap E all the time. And it's like it is a conditioning thing right now that it's I got to uncondition in order to recondition. So there you go. Just messing around with that, seeing some again with him. I'm trying to figure out what he's leaving on the map. I know those seeds do something, but as you can see, I'm not really doing stuff with them. Like his skill set on the comments talked about, like he does damage himself as he swings. So that's going on. I just haven't really dug into. It hasn't mattered. Like I can see his health is definitely going down when he does these moves, right? It's clear. But then I pull in Barbara, and I mean she just fixes things. So I'm like, the thing is like I get up to half health, and I effectively pull him back, get Barbara in, or I just Barbara sweep, like not sweep. I pull Barbara in to do rounds, just to tap, get some healing activations going across the squad, and then I pull it back out and get the fire guys in there, and it works out. You can see when I switch to the fire team later on, when I get Ignari out of there and I put Amber back on the squad, I mean, oh man, the synergy is good. I love Amber, I do. I like the range again, fire and archery. That's a double combo in my world of awesomeness. And so yeah, that's the team works. I mean, it works in the sense that I can move forward. Things are pretty smooth in combat, but there are moments where it's like, this would have gone faster if I had electric going on as well, right? But at the same time, it was fun, and that's really what it came down to for me. Is things are getting cleared anyways, and so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yeah, it's things are moving forward, so it's fine. I kept a lot of these fights in. I think it's just in case like there are people that might have thought, oh, there's like this chest I missed and I didn't go back for. I figured I'd keep the ones in that I spotted in Mondstadt while I was doing rounds. I don't believe these respawn, so these were missed chests in the sweeps that I had already done of Mondstadt. It's crazy because I feel like I've explored so much of Mondstadt, but then I'm just roaming around randomly, like to get things that I see. Like I might see these like red rings in the horizon, and I just move towards them. Like, how did I miss this though? Because I did stuff in this area, you know. But then I see like battlefronts with like with hill trolls, and I'm like, but I thought I did this. And so like I think some of those respawn for sure, but I still feel like I missed way more than I thought I did. Even in these 2 hours of roaming around Mondstadt to do the dailies, I guess is what they're called. I've never really bothered with these, but I figured if I was going to do a test with characters, and I just wanted to do it casually, I didn't want to like turn on the. It's strangely enough, is like now I'm recording this right after I played. I'm like, it's actually going to take me a little longer to do than if I had just turned on the camera and done it as an episode. But the benefit here is that you're ramping through the highlight moments, and I can talk about it in retrospect. So it's not really a blind run as I'm talking. I'm just sort of giving you an update, and I'm talking through 33 minutes of footage that I pre-cut just to get these moments in here for y'all to see. But you know, I could probably cut this tighter if I don't have anything to say. But it's a test. It's a test from a production standpoint. It might actually not be taking me longer because the 2 hour footage got cut down to about 30 minutes, and like 30 minutes of what you're seeing right now, 30 minutes of footage. I probably did that in 30 minutes. So I didn't have to watch for 2 hours to then, that would have cost me 4 hours, right? At least 4 hours in production, whereas this one might cost me 3 hours. Now, is this what people like seeing? I'm not sure. I think that playing live and having reactions as we you know, as I play. It feels more like immersive from an audience perspective, but at the same time, when I see videos online that, I mean, they hypercut the hell out of an update, and it's not so much a blind run, although some of them are like I'm, you know, playing for the first time, or like going into Genshin for the first time, and it's just like cut, and they give like in 1 hour you're getting the entire Mondstadt, right? And it's like how like there's so much experience that I was like I was always talking through the original chapter. Now I might have taken too long with my crawl in the perspective of many, not mine. I think I did it in the exact time that I should have done it in, because it was casual and I was in no rush, and as you can see, I'm still discovering things in Mondstadt. So I took all that time and I still didn't find everything I could have found. So I think that's crazy, because it just means that how much it showcases how much game is still left to explore, if that's what you want to do with the game. I'm going all over the place. Anyways, I like my little cheese style there, but I did not expect this back attack here. I wasn't anticipating that they'd respawn behind me and that this new guy was going to join the crew. Well, yeah, this guy with the shield. But yeah, so. But I thought that was a pretty cool strategy that to pull off. I discovered that if enemies do hit the water and drown, they're done for. They'll just give you the wind. So knock them off cliffs and hope there's water underneath, and then you're good to go. Anyways, I know that the claymores and there's other ways of taking out these shields here. There's these geo shields, I suppose. But I'm just messing around with some combos and seeing how I can maximize some of this right here. Like, it's got hydro and right, vaporize, and just trying to do a set here to see how much damage it actually does if I pull that off. Otherwise, just bring in the big sword and go for it with Gami and take care of business. So there you go. These guys are pretty much accounted for with this set. And what else can I say about? Oh, I was talking about from a production standpoint, like doing these retrospective things. Like, I don't mind doing them because I get to just give an update, and this doesn't have to be a separate update video about things, right? But I mean, what did I want to talk about in terms of Genshin? I don't know. It seems like the folks that are still around are cool with the exploration and the slower gameplay style. I'm not going to change that approach. This game is very enjoyable for me to just enjoy. The music, I think it's the music, to be honest. Like, it's the visuals, yeah, for sure. But I feel like when I'm in this game, I'm not in a rush to just to grind. Like, I've been grinding Honkai Impact 3rd I played 60 hours in the last week, just to try to week and a half, just to try to catch up to Part 2's release, right, for Honkai Impact 3rd, and it's just a lot of content. But there's, you know, that's an action gameplay oriented experience, whereas this one's not. This is very much just, it's an exploratory gaming experience. Can it be all the the fighting stuff as well? Sure, right? Like, there's the fighting moments, but it's not like Honkai Impact 3rd. Like, that is like, it's consistently an action fighting kind of romp, and you know, mixed in with the visual novels, right, for the narrative. And so you're going between both of those two experiences, and it's kind of spastic in a sense, and it can get very redundant in the way that the fighting works. You learn the combo sets, the builds and stuff like that, and then you just kind of go through the flow, and especially when you've maxed out. I'm 80, captain level 80. I guess that's top unless I unlock something or whatever. But I'm not an amazing player, but I'm destroying the competition with the builds that I do have, and so then it just becomes redundant and not a challenge, because I just want to get through the story and the lore and the plot. And so back to Genshin is like, when I'm playing this game, I'm more like just enjoying the exploration, and if I stumble on things, good. I know, of course, there's a bigger plot behind all of this, right? But I can choose when I go and engage in with those bigger plots, and the exploration comes first, because it's there's a lot more exploration to do before the narrative even gets triggered, right? You know, can I beeline my way there? Of course. If people just want to move things forward, they can just go for the story and go, and that's what they're going to be in the game for, right? But I'm kind of I'm not even trying to find a mix of both. It's like, I want to explore, but sometimes combat is in there, and I want to explore the character combinations and powers and see how that goes. But I'm not really focused on any of it. Like, I don't care being amazing at it. I just need to be good enough to move things forward. And dying in this game is pretty forgiving. You know, it's like, you can learn at your own pace. You can be under leveled if you want. You can avoid monsters if you want. You don't have to get the treasure. Like, I got a lot of mats right now, resources, materials, whatever, that can level things. I'm over. I'm over-resourced, I suppose, to some degree. I was trying to be a little bit cautious into what I was dumping into characters, because I might get a character I want more. And and then I'm not going to have the resources for it, which is what happened in Honkai Impact 3rd a couple times, because things start to cost so much more at the top. But I'm early enough in this game that I feel like I don't need to worry about that based on I just leveled who I could up to 39, and I still have quite a bit of resources left. So I feel like as long as I keep exploring and pulling these chests, and because that's part of my experiences, I am going to always have an abundance of resources because I'm exploring a lot. And so this is just going to be a natural I guess boon in the run, right? I feel like it. And the comments are making me feel confident enough to just splurge where I want to, because I like the characters. I might as well just splurge and get them maxed out, because it kind of makes sense from the sense of you're maximizing your DPS output so that you can actually clear things faster and explore faster. Not that I'm trying to speed the exploration, but the fighting could get redundant, and so what's the point? Just max level where I can and then move things forward. Now I do believe I read something that things scale with me, and so the games by design could mitigate some of that. I guess what's the term for it? Not power leveling. Like if you power level, you're just going to I call it sweep kicking. Sweep kicking. The sweep kicking terminology for me comes from fighting games as a child, where you find that one character you're amazing at, but it's because you keep sweep kicking the opponent, and you get so good at that you stun lock. And then you just win because you're a dipshit. But hey, his tactics, it's legitimate. Anyways, but steamroll is the word I was looking for. So there might be a mitigation in the design of this game itself. I believe I read something like that, the area scale. I don't know if that's just leeway will scale with me, or if Mondstadt, like the areas that are behind you will scale based on the fact that you've entered leeway, and so now it knows that it's going to scale. I forget what exactly I read, but in any case, so maybe steamrolling isn't actually a thing, right? Is what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to shorten my ideas. I'm trying to go off the fly here without any edits in my speaking. I'm seeing that I'm only halfway to the end, and I don't want to really cut away anything else, because I'm going to switch teams now to the Pyro squad soon. But I also don't want to waste your time with bantering about just random stuff if I don't have anything to say. I did want to talk about other Genshin, just general things and the gameplay, the playthrough and my approach to it. I guess part of this experiment, not that I'm probably not going to repeat this kind of style often, unless I have other things to talk about instead of just what you're seeing while I'm talking. But I've been trying to figure out how I want to just make gameplay content in general. And it's weird because I've been looking at just the terms let's play versus playthrough, and that they're trying to discover the differentiator online based on content. Now, I don't really think that people are clear on it being a differentiator. It's just, playthrough is the highest keyword searched versus let's play. Let's play is a more archaic term in the space, but it's not really used for the newer games. I find they're used on the older games where 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago, let's plays were a thing. But since those days, I think it's more like playthrough becomes the word that people use. But playthroughs to me imply just a different approach to the content. Playthrough is you're playing through it, but you're not really adding anything more than being a thorough. You're getting through the game in a thorough manner. Whereas Let's Play for me is it's more bantering style. You're talking, with the community along the way, and I feel like that's more what I would, because that's where I started. I started in 2016 this channel, right? And everything was a Let's Play, because everything was called a Let's Play back in those days. It's just what it was. If you were doing a gaming channel, you were doing Let's Plays. You were a Let's Player, But I feel like that terminology is starting to go away, and I think with that terminology, so is the expectation of that kind of content. I feel like there's not a lot of that kind of content anymore, where a gamer is just casually going through a game, and the comments are part of that experience for the YouTuber. And maybe that's because streaming, like Twitch, started to pick up a lot more prominence inside the space. And so if people wanted to chat, they might as well be chatting. They would go into a live stream and be able to be part of the conversation, either with other commenters or with the content creator while they were playing the game, right? And I do see that. And I would like to do streaming at some point, and maybe that's the future of Genshin, because it can be such a long game the way I'm playing it, where maybe it's better for me to approach it as a game I'm jumping into, and then I'm bantering while I'm playing casually. And the benefit there is that there's a lot of you out there. Like I'm a small channel, I'm getting small views, but relative to what I've had on this channel, it's significant, like, because the interest in Genshin is significant out there. Like, if you go to Google Trends and you put Genshin up against any other game, Genshin's gonna win, hands down. Like, there's very few games that are as searched as Genshin. And as a small channel, discovery is important, and so there's two ways of getting discovered, right? It's via search or it's via the homepage discovery. Nice dodge there, Barbara. But so Genshin gets both, right? And more than that is that it's doing the recommendation, so the suggestions on the homepage are actually happening faster than a search result for Genshin gameplay, because there's just so many people searching for it that you're going to hit enough of an audience that YouTube's going to know, or it's going to have a good idea of where it can share it, because people are going to have similar interests. Like, Genshin fans are going to have similar interests. And within the Genshin fandom, I believe there's going to be people who are cool with the casual Let's Players or playthroughers. I see what I mean. Like, playthroughers doesn't even sound right. but anyways, they're going to be... people are there for the casual, lore-focused, story, casual exploration version of Let's Players, and then some of them are gonna be there to see like the build players, right? The meta players, the ones that want to become really good at building synergies within a team and taking on the abyss and pushing that as fast as possible. And the gameplay is what's important to them. And both of those are valid ways to go, and anywhere in the middle, right? It's a spectrum, and it's the way, however you enjoy this. That's what's important. But anyways, what I'm saying is that there's even that being said, that there's segmentations within the Genshin fandom. There's still such a large portion of people that are interested in the content for Genshin that there's always a way to reach people. So as a small channel, going back around, as a small channel that streams Genshin, I think that there would be a place for me just casually going through a game like Genshin and people coming in to just talk lore and stories, and maybe that will actually be a better way for me to play longer sessions and actually read things but still bantering with the audience, right? That is there, the people who are there for the casual experience as well, and reading the lore can be what we talk about. Now, I do risk spoilers as well, right? The larger the community, the larger the group. Like, I don't think I'm gonna have 100 viewers, but even if I had 10 to 20 viewers, I'm lowballing here, and that's even probably highballing for me, right? Because I've never streamed before, so I'm gonna be completely unknown. But it always opens up the risk of someone coming in and spoiling, right? And talking about that or demoralizing because they have a different definition of what they expect to see as being valuable. And I mean, the value is in the player and the people who want to be there to watch a casual experience being shared with them, right? And this for me is like, YouTube has always been about sharing the game, a gaming experience, as if it's people like on the couch, like when you like. At least for me, I'm aging myself here. So back in the day, we used to just meet and watch each other play video games, right? Pass the controller around for the hard games and get through them and talk, drink, eat, get some pizza, right? And so that social layer of the experience is sort of what I wanted when I started YouTube many years ago. And I've kind of been off and on in hiatus, and things have been going on, and so I really need to get set up in a place that has decent internet so I can stream, and that's why I'm not starting right now, is I'm on very, 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 very bad internet. I'm in a very remote location, and my internet is not stable. So it's slow and it's not stable. So it would be a terrible streaming experience. But hopefully wherever I end up next, I'll be able to explore that and see how it feels. But I think maybe I'll enjoy it. And Genshin would probably be one of the first contenders that I would attempt it for, just because I think it'd be easy to at least not be streaming to 0 people. And then, I mean, it might still happen, but I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be the same. Like what I'm doing now is basically like, this is me streaming to 0 people. You know what I mean? Like, can I keep talking and playing at the same time, sure, I've been doing it for 8 years. That's easy enough, but it's different when the chat is empty, and I don't know. Like, part of that experience is to kind of have that dynamic, and I can't imagine what it's like for new streamers to start and be streaming to 0 to 2 people. Like, it's like the dynamic seems like it would be difficult. That's all. To kind of mentally switch, because I didn't come into content creation as streamer first, you know. So I just don't have a sense. I don't have a sense of what that's like. Anyways, I'm kind of deviating off of the topic, but I'm making time here while the game is like reaching the end. The fights aren't getting that much more epic. As you can see, there's a lot of redundancy in the fights themselves and the dynamics once I figure them out. I am doing the Pyro Squad, as I'm sure you've noticed it already. But yeah, usually starts with an Amber going in and causing mayhem, causing a distraction, and then I get the healing up so that I could do some of the mixes, get some vaporizes going, and that's it. So the synergy of this team has been figured out, and there's 3 pyros on it. They didn't really bother me at all. I still felt like I wasn't really compromised, you know. I would very much imagine, I like these. That's why I love Amber. Bam. I mean, they don't even know what's coming. Like, let's get back. Anyways, so what was I saying? So like in the deeper game, for sure, there's things that are gonna get harder, especially like challenges like the Abyss and stuff. Like I have to imagine that. Yeah, of course, like the combinations. Oh, there you go. I just saw like the whole dendro thing. Bloom. See, hyper focus. I don't see that while I'm playing. When I'm editing is when I tend to see the triggers, and then I get it, you know. But yeah, I almost missed it even now because I'm talking while I'm watching, and I'm not, as you can see, like, I'm not really commenting on the stuff that I'm watching because my hyper focus is going in a different narrative direction. New puzzle here. I don't remember seeing this one before, but I assumed it was an ice block, so it'd be fire. I don't know why I decided I'd crush it with my weight as well. I was like, did I leave stuff behind? Okay, no. And I think there's only one more thing that I left. Yeah, it's this area right here where there was a Sealy up at the top. I think I've been calling them sylphs, by the way. I think they're ceilings. Anyways, the floating things up here. But I try to climb this damn thing, and I'm like, I don't think I can climb this. I've tried to climb these things before, and I've gotten blocked. But I went and tried it again. I got blocked here, right there. So right here, and I was like, what do you mean? How am I supposed to like get up to the top where that thing is? So I sort of I walked away, and I assumed, is there a mountain around here I gotta go look for? I couldn't find one that would be high enough. So anyways, I kind of got, I figured it had to be here though, right? That's something. Anyways, found another chest along the way, and I found one of those I forget what they're called, but those air things, and I figured maybe it's like the air thing creates a gust of wind I'm supposed to leverage, but I'm like, that feels like a lot of effort to get up to the top there. Like, I've never seen a challenge that would have required something like that. I do see a green. Oh, I just noticed it now to the left. I don't know why I didn't notice it while I was playing. But there might legitimately have been... Oh, wait, what is that? Is that a doorway? Maybe I'll see it when I get closer now, because strangely enough, I do forget, even though this happened 2 hours ago. oh, it's because I had to take this thing out to get that treasure, and that treasure appears later on. I was wondering, like, why I didn't see it while I was fighting. Oh, no, it was behind that, it was behind that wind curtain. I forgot what the risk was of playing against this thing, but as you can see, pretty awesome combination. You just get, like, hydro in there, and then vaporize. Right, you get it. There you go. I mean, I love this combo. I think it's great. Maybe people don't agree, but I think this combination is great. I would imagine that switching out Barbara for an Electro would be equally pretty good if someone. Well, I mean, it's Electro, but you gotta. I mean, if for someone who could put Electro on the field and then I can maximize it like this right here, right? Then yeah, it's beneficial. You're gonna get more damage output, and that's always great. So anyways, got this thing right here, got the treasure, and then, but I'm still thinking about how do I get up there though. Okay, got this thing, and then I'll head back. So we're reaching the tail end here, last 4 minutes or so, 3 minutes. I still have to head back to that, the Valen's lair, huh? I'm near certain I got some quests, side quests and stuff or it was the ore quest. I got to go in there and grab something for the guy. I kept on selecting that option because I felt like that was the option for me to get my ore back, and I did it every single time in these 2 hours when I went back to the Wagner. That's his name, right? I think I'm kind of using memory here, but anyways, so right now I'm looking for if I had missed a gap, or like maybe there was like some architecture was crumbled and created a smoother section for me to climb. But I was like, nah, it's got to be one of these sides. It's got to be climbable. They wouldn't put this here with no mountains around, no wind gusts around, and I'm not able to climb it. And then of course this happened. I was like, what the hell, man? I would never have assumed I could I could climb that incline right there. I would not have assumed that. But there you go. Here we go. So got the Sealy, not the Sylph, unless there's other things called Sylphs in this, like the little flying things. But for some reason, I've confused myself at this very moment as to whether these are Sylphs or Sealies. I don't know why, but just because I remember calling them Sylphs. But then there's those other little flying things, the ones that make you get the gusts, right? You get 3 of them, and then you can fly that kind of thing. You can set up a pillar. I forget the difference between those 2 things. I'm very likely confusing them. In any case, great thing about these oozes, these fire oozes, is of course Barbara is MVP. I can just get her in there. This is basically fire against them is obviously useless. They're immune. But you know, fire, but they have swords is different. Swords are always good. I just do a normal attack, and it's good enough. Bam. And the same thing with their coward of a friend that came and bailed this way. Immune right there, so fire does nothing, but the vaporize kicks off. And then boom, boom, boom. Just load it up. I don't know. I think I was trying to heal, get some heals off there. But in any case, kablamo. And then again, that's the level of Gaming and the level of the sword. I think is what's making these guys go with faster than I remember. So leveling does make a difference, but I don't think it's like significant, but it's significant enough. You know, I mean this one's going pretty fast, but and it's not like I'm doing like a special attack that's nailing this guy in some crazy way, right? Like I'm being a dumbass right here. Like I know it's above me, but I'm like land already. Like I didn't remember when it was supposed to land. Anyways, I got this thing right here, and I was like, oh my god, could I have used this in at the other moment? And it's like, no, not really. You get a little small gust there, and I'm not sure what that was really for. I don't think it really matters, but just curious. A random chest, of course, and a flower up there that I don't recall seeing this flower before, and I actually got confused as to what it was I was doing. I thought I broke something and was doing something wrong, but no. Thank God I had Amber around, because otherwise I would have been disappointed in the fact that I wouldn't have had an archer to take care of this. I guess that's something I got to keep in mind as well when I'm doing the loadout of characters, is try to have a character that has range, just because of the tests that you sometimes stumble across. You at least have an option, and because there's so many of these out there in the wilds that I'm not going to remember where they all are, right? And so if I don't do them when I see them, like for example the clover, right, that you use wind on, and it's like I don't really have wind now until I go and change the traveler back to wind, and I was like, oh, I don't. So that's kind of where I'm at right now when I go back to Leeway. I'm like, do I go to the tower and take out the Geo? But I'm like, but I'm in Leeway. Like Leeway is like, I need it now. I need that in Leeway, you know. But it's like, but I have other characters I guess I can use, or I can just go back to the tower, switch it again. But it just feels like a tedious extra step for me that I'm not sure that I'd be up for. I'm just going to leave them behind, and then when I have characters, I'll eventually travel through the land again, and we'll stumble on those things. It's just an extra chest, right? Well, there's chests all over the world, you know, and I'm stumbling on new things still, so no big deal. Anyways, getting the last bits here, the commissions done. I think this might be the first set of commissions I've done. And that's it. I actually managed to talk straight through for 34 minutes. So I'll catch you in the next one, folks. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire.